The Knicks postgame show is presented by Tri-State Audi. Visit your Tri-State area Audi dealer today. The two Clipper future Hall of Famers showed why tonight. James Harden erupted in the third quarter, had 29. Kawhi Leonard had a huge fourth quarter, had 27. And the Clippers blew it wide open in the second half, beating the Knicks tonight. Final score 126 to 113. Great to have you with us, Bill Pidto, along with Wally Szczerbiak. So the Knicks already without Jalen Brunson and Deuce McBride coming into the game. Cam Payne has an excellent first half with 15 points, turns his ankle, is able to play the rest of the first half, but doesn't play in the second half. So then you have Tyler Kolek and DeLon Wright playing the point in the second half. How big a factor was all this in the Knicks' loss?
Definitely a little bit of a factor. You need your floor general out there. I thought Tyler Kolek, gave his best effort, but it's not easy when you're a rookie. This is why it's tough to play against experienced teams when you're a rookie. He really doesn't have experience playing against the Clippers, so Tom Thibodeau wants to use him at times, and he was pressed into full-time duty, and he struggled a little bit. At the same time, the shot making by those two guys was the difference. 16 for 30 from the three-point line by the LA Clippers. There's nothing that the Knicks point guards could have done to stop that. The defense wasn't really there. James Harden put on his display of step backs and really went off in that second half, and then Kawhi is back. He looked really good tonight.
All right, so the Knicks were up by 13 after the first quarter, and after that it was all Clippers. It was a one-point edge for the Knicks at the half. Third quarter, James Harden, while he took control, he scored 16 points in that third quarter, 16 of his 29.
Yep, and it was all down the stretch of that third quarter, too. It seemed like the last 4 minutes, he just went on his own personal 12-0 run from the three-point line. Look at these step backs. He can create easy offense whenever he wants. Once he sees one go through the basket, look out. 6 for 9 from the three-point line. And after making 3 in a row, kicks it out to find his teammates. He can also dish it, too. This was the last one to Batum to end that quarter. And that's really what broke the Knicks back. Because then to start the fourth quarter, the Clippers came out ready to go. Obviously, the Knicks undermanned with no Jalen Brunson, no point guard, so they're trying to patch together some bench minutes. Mitchell Robinson struggling a little bit still with that injury. He was a minus 22 in only 13 minutes. So that was a tough loss, but this is a good team. This is a team that's won 9 out of 11. They're sprinting to the finish in the playoffs, and the beauty of it is Knicks don't have to worry about them until maybe the finals, because this team's going to be a legitimate contender, I think, in the playoffs if they continue to stay healthy.
Problem's always been injuries, but when they're healthy, man, they are a good team.
Yes.
And you have Kawhi Leonard, who's now healthy. He's missed so much time with various injuries, knee injuries, whatever it may be, but he's healthy now, and he scored 14 of his 27 in the fourth quarter.
I think one thing that's good for his career is him playing the 4. By him playing the 4, he doesn't have to chase all those guards around as much. He's a legit rebounder at the 4. He had 10 rebounds. So efficient with his game. I explained it at halftime, how I love how he's 1-2 dribbles, doesn't mess around with the ball, not dribbling, between his legs too often, although he did there, around the back spin moves. Just a very cerebral player, efficient player. He's got his athleticism back, too. He's had major knee injuries, and he played 41 minutes tonight, and he looked really healthy this deep into the season.
Knicks with 35 assists.
That's great.
21 in the first half.
Outstanding.
But you mentioned the three-point shooting. Clippers really shooting well from downtown. And the offensive boards the Clippers' favor in the second chance points. Look at that, 19-9. Zubats had a huge game up front for the Clippers with 18 points and 10 rebounds.
I said rebounding was going to be my key to the game because this team is a dominant rebounding team. They gang rebound. Everyone helps Zubats out. He's a very good rebounder. They only allow 42 rebounds a game to their opponents, which is very low. So that means they're getting 50 rebounds, and the Knicks only had 38. Yeah. That's second in the NBA as far as allowing rebounds, and they were under the second best margin in the NBA of 42. That means they were dominating the boards, and they didn't give the Knicks any chance to get any second chance opportunities.
Wally, on the bright side for the Knicks, another 30-10 game for Karl Anthony Towns. Wow. His 18th. That's tied for the third most in a single season in Knicks history. So Towns tonight goes for 34-13, another 30-10 game for him.
So fun to watch. It really is. It just comes easy to him. He's so skilled. He can take Zubats outside, put the ball on the floor, knock down threes. There he uses his foot speed and his mobility. Then if you put a smaller guy on him, he'll take him in the post and dunk on his head and finish over him. So Karl Anthony Towns continuing to put numbers up. it just shows you how much production you need on a nightly basis to win games in the NBA. I mean, Karl Anthony Towns had 34, OG had 28, shot 11 for 17. Both those guys had outstanding individual efforts, and the Knicks ended up losing by what? 13 points to the Clippers. That's how good you have to play in order to win games in the NBA. Those two guys just couldn't get enough help, and it shows how much you miss Jalen Brunson against the elite playoff teams in the NBA.
Kel Bridges also had a really excellent game as well. He had 17 points and tied a career high with 9 assists.
Yes. Yeah, and guys have had to step up. That's the important thing with no Jalen Brunson, but you can see how important he is when you play against the elite teams in the NBA. Jalen hopefully is getting right and getting healthy, and teams kind of held themselves 5-5 without him in the lineup so far. But they better watch because the Pacers are breathing down their necks. So Knicks have to continue to try to just find a way to get any win possible at any time.
Just in, breaking news, Pacers just lost at the buzzer. The Lakers highlights on.
Way to go, LeBron. Way to go, Luka.
So that means the Pacers remain 3 games behind the Knicks. That's big. 3 games behind the Knicks for third in the East.
Yes.
Monica McNutt helped call the game as always on the radio on ESPN New York. Monica, what did you think about tonight?
Tale of two halves, but maybe even in the first half you had some ominous signs about what may come in the second half, only because you knew it was going to be a matter of this team being able to provide resistance on the defensive end of the floor. When the Knicks were in LA at Intuit Dome, you could see what you saw tonight brewing, and that was without Norman Powell. And so as this Clippers team, we talked about it yesterday, guys, they come in here with a different sense of urgency as the West is literally the wild, wild West, and they want to get out of that play-in. And so I think you saw that in the second half. And the Knicks didn't have it really on either end of the floor to keep up, which is a shame because you had really monster performances from OG Anunoby and Karl Anthony Towns.
Monica, can you run the point? Knicks are down.
She doesn't pass the ball. You know that.
No? Okay.
You know, this little thing we have on television, Pidto, I don't understand. Who says I don't pass the ball? But anyway, listen, the injuries, Wally, are a real thing. And I'll be honest. And, Wally, I'm curious because you've lived and breathed this thing in real time. I'm looking at this game. You kind of see it not probably going to pan out in the Knicks way. And now every time you're out there, you're thinking, okay, well, get guys off the floor. Like, do you go ahead and wave the white flag? And I credit this crowd in here tonight because it was, I believe, still a 9-point game, but it sounded like it was maybe a 1 or 2 possession game late when the Knicks were trying to make that push with about 1 minute and 34 seconds. But now I'm like, nobody needs to be on the floor unless they have to be on the floor because at this point, you just need to stay healthy.
I asked Wally, what do you think, Monica? The point guard injury situation, how important was that to the outcome tonight?
That's a big deal. That's a big deal. And I think Ty Lue's been one of the coaches that I think has been interesting talking about the Knicks without Jalen Brunson. He continues to say, we've had him twice now without JB, that this team is playing with more freedom. And while that is true, when they needed a big-time bucket to stay attached, they were unable to come up with it, right? And then when you needed a big-time defensive stop to stay attached, and not that that's necessarily Jalen Brunson's role, but he allows everybody to be in their proper roles when he's on the floor, so guys have energy where they are needed most. And so, yeah, I think you miss both of your point guards, either JB or McBride, in terms of the way that he can impact the game, particularly on the defensive end when it comes to McBride.
All right, Monica, I'm going to Milwaukee. I know you're not going to be on the trip. That means you're not going to blow me off for lunch again.
I'm blowing you off for the whole trip, Peter. I don't want nothing to do with you.
Wow.
Oh, man. All right.
Wow.
With love.
We'll see you on Sunday when we celebrate Clyde's 80th birthday.
Yes, indeed. Live and live in color, literally.
All right. Up to the second standings in the Eastern Conference. We told you LeBron sunk the Pacers. And that's good news for the Knicks because if the Pacers had won, it'd only be a 2-point edge for the Knicks over the Pacers. Although, let's be honest, it wouldn't be the end of the world if the Knicks finished 4th in the conference. That means you would get Cleveland potentially in the second round and not Boston.
Yeah, that's a good point. But, yeah, you want to hold on to that third spot if possible. But listen, this is what you do at this time of year. You can only control what you can control. You got to go out and get as many wins as possible. But then after the game, if you're in the locker room, you got to get the news. And it's good news for Knicks and Knicks fans and all the players in the Knicks franchise. So it's one of those things where Knicks got to bounce back against Milwaukee, got to get back to their winning ways. It's not easy with the injuries they have, but there's no excuses in this league.
Only 10 games left for Tom Thibodeau's Knicks as they go down tonight to Clippers. Knicks now 45-27 on the season. We'll get the post-game comment from the Knicks coach coming up.
The Knicks post-game show is presented by Audi. Visit your Tri-State Audi dealer today.
Welcome back. Clippers win the second half, 72-58, beat the Knicks by 13, 126-113. We continue now from the corner three, presented by Michelob Ultra Superior Light Beer. So next up for the Knicks, it's a one-game road trip Friday night at Milwaukee. We'll have the pregame for you at 7:30 and the game at 8 as the Knicks try to make it 3-0 against the Bucks this year. Let's now listen into the postgame comments from Knicks coach Tom Thibodeau, as always, presented by Chase.
Yeah, I thought it started at the end of the second, so we didn't close the second. Great. And then, offensively, I thought we scored enough, but, they got going, and that was a problem.
When Cam goes down, does it come back? What type of impact did that have on the team? How they're come out in the second?
Yeah, just the next guy, get in there, And so I thought Tyler played well in the first half. And then DeLon, just, next guy, get in, get the job done. And so that's a big part of, your approach, your team's approach. So I think there's going to be adversity. You have to be mentally tough. You have to be able to get through that. You have to stay disciplined. And, I knew it would be a challenge. They're playing really well. They were fresh, 2 days of rest, and then come in. And so I knew we would have to be at our best, and we're more than capable. We can get that done. Yeah, I haven't spoken with medical. They just, they came out at the half, and when we were getting ready to start, and they said he can't go.
Tom, you talk a lot about Tyler's steady development as a rookie. I mean, right now, maybe the development's going to have to be a little quicker than steady, or what kind of pressure is this put on?
Yeah, no, he's capable. So just get in there, get it done. So each game you learn, it tells you what you have to work on. Tells you, and it's not just individual. It's collective. It's how do we function as a team? And we talked about. We're not replacing Jalen individually. We have to do it collectively. And then Deuce is out, and Cam, misses the second. So you just find a way to get it done. The same thing when Mitch doesn't play, the next guy you got to get in there and get it done.
Do you know, is it possible Deuce comes back to the next game, or what's his timeline right now?
Day to day.
So possibly.
Yeah, it is possible. Yeah.
If he doesn't come back and you're down 3 point guards and Cam can't go, and all you have is Tyler, just who is the next guy?
DeLon, we have more than enough.
What was that? You went Achua for Mitch, I think with 7 minutes to go in the fourth. Was that about Mitch's minutes, or was it just
No, he took a hit on that play with Derek Jones on the drive, and so I was going to go probably another minute or so. I just wanted to get him out there, and then, there was a matchup that I, thought we can use Precious's size on.
What was the explanation the ref gave on the flop call?
Yeah, there was a lot of physicality in the game, so, that's the way he saw it.
I think they had 14 second chance points.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a big part of the game. Like I felt like and again, I thought we had good movement. We had 35 assists, and the turnovers weren't high, but the points we gave up off the turnovers were. So I think we gave up 18 there and 19 on second chance points, and that's a lot. Particularly when you're shorthanded. That's probably the difference in the game. Like our margin of error is small, so we got to play, extremely hard and smart. But like those hustle points are huge.
Josh's Hart's triple-double the other night. What do you think is his motivation or inspiration right now?
No, that was the other night.
What does Tyler have to show you on defense? What are some of the
Just steady improvement. He'll get better, So it's, like most rookies, you go through a learning curve. And so as he understands players better, the scheme's better, it's a different game. So I like Tyler a lot.
Before you took Mitch out, were you okay with his minutes tonight?
Pardon?
The way Mitch was playing tonight, before you took him out in the end there. How'd you feel about his minutes?
Yeah, I don't get wrapped up in his minutes. It's how the team is functioning, and that's the big thing. It's not he's going to play this amount of minutes. It's not really a restriction. It's more of a guideline. And so, who do they have on the floor? And they were playing Simmons at the 5 when he was in there, so it was a little different matchup wise. And they had Batum, so like you're looking at the matchups, you're looking at what's going on in the game, and so if the group is functioning well, we'll ride it longer, and if it's not, then we'll look somewhere else.
Coach is never going to make excuses for the injuries. He's always going to say he's got more than enough. Yep. He made the point that 18 points for the Clippers off 10 Knicks turnovers and 19 second chance points. In his mind, the key to the loss.
Yeah, those are controllables. That's what our coaches will always tell you. Do not turn the ball over. They're not going to get easy fast break buckets on the other end. And secure your defensive board. That's key. Don't give them second chance opportunities. Don't give them 2 shots at the basket. When you play good defense and you get stops, you always got to finish a defensive stop with a rebound. And that's something the Knicks, I'm sure, are going to try to get back to doing and work on.
The Knicks postgame show is presented by Audi. Visit your Tri-State Audi dealer today.
Next up for the Knicks at Milwaukee on Friday night. 7:30 pregame, game at 8. It's a 1-game road trip. Knicks will be back home Sunday to host the Blazers. Knicks lose tonight to the Clippers. Mikal Bridges played well, 17 points, tied a career high with 9 assists. Here he is in the locker room with Alan Hahn.
How tough is that team at full strength, and what was that second half like?
They're a really good team, and they just play harder than us.
What turned for you? Was it the threes that they started knocking down, or was it the rebounding that turned the game?
Just executing, just better than us, both sides.
The ball is still moving for this team, over 30 assists again in this game. What have you noticed with this offense lately that you're seeing the ball move and then getting a lot of assists?
Just sharing and moving without it.
You're obviously close with Kane, but you get a chance to talk to him after he didn't get a chance to come back to the game. Is he in good spirits? Or?
I just asked him if he's all right. He said he is.
Oh, right. He was obviously hot shooting in the first half, and then even games before that. Just what have you seen from him that's been able to help him carry the offense while guys been out?
Yeah, just who he is, and he's a pro, and always handle business.
What do you make of the last 12 games? Coming up, the last 12 games of the season, you guys have 4 back-to-backs in this stretch. Just how important is it going to be to preserve yourselves for the end of the year when the schedule is brutal for the last few games?
No matter, just play. That's what we signed up for.
10 games left, 4 back-to-backs.
Really? Yikes. That's no bueno at the end of the season. But hey, you got to figure it out. You got to try to get wins. This is the tough part of the schedule. Obviously, the last 10 games, you want to get to the playoffs healthy, get everyone that's not healthy, and start figuring out a way to start winning some games.
All right, post-game comments now from Josh Hart.
The team got off to such a great start in this game. What did you see that just turned everything?
Yeah, it's tough. We started off playing well. Got the ball moving, and that team is playing extremely well right now. So you got to give them credit. They started knocking down shots and kind of really dictating the pace. So give that team credit. We knew this was going to be a tough one. And now we got to forget about it and move on to Milwaukee.
Rebounding or three-point defense, what was, in your mind, the biggest issue in that second half?
Both. It's hard to pinpoint one. There's just a collection of everything. For offensively, we could have played a little better, could have played a little faster. But that also goes into getting stops, and we didn't do that, and paid the price for it.
Josh Hart there with Alan on. I want to clarify there are 3 back-to-backs left for the Knicks. Still challenging with 10 games left in the season. We'll be back to look ahead after this as the Knicks lose tonight by 13. All right, so the Knicks at Milwaukee on Friday. We're going to celebrate Clyde's 80th birthday Sunday, then a back-to-back, home against Philly, at Cleveland, and then at Atlanta a week from Saturday. Back with more after this. Clippers beat the Knicks tonight by 13. And Wally, ladies and gentlemen, is a proud alum tonight.
Congratulations to the Cold Spring Harbor Lady Seahawks, Class B state champs basketball in New York State. My alma mater, Cold Spring Harbor, never won a state championship in basketball. First ever. Coach Rory Malone brought him back from 17 points in the second half to get the victory in the championship game. Way to go, girls. I'm proud of you.
All right. Congratulations indeed.
Yes.
All right. We're going to see you on Friday night from Milwaukee. Knicks and the Bucks. Pregame at 7:30, game at 8. You can also stream our coverage on MSG Plus now in the Gotham Sports app. Want more than just a postgame show? Link your eligible TV subscription to stream Knicks games free or subscribe today in the Gotham Sports app. Just go to gothamsports.tv to learn more.